Good day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Q&A Social Security Disability Today. I am your host, Anthony Reeves, attorney at law, and it's always a pleasure to have you here. Please take the opportunity to enjoy some of the recent updates that have been made to my website at www.reevesfirm.com, which includes also a free claim evaluation. Also, that same claim evaluation is available on my blog at legalbeat.anthonyreeves.com. As always, you can subscribe to my blog because, as I indicate, I always cover different issues on my blog than I do here today. So let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. As always, keep the questions coming in. And if you want to email me directly, anthony@reevesfirm.com is always a great place to start. Or you can always check out my Facebook page, which is, of course, facebook.com/Reeves Law Firm. I always tell people don't post any questions there. If you have something specifically, if it's a general question, I don't mind, but if it's about your particular case, I would rather you email me offline. So this way I can make sure I address it here accordingly. All right, let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Two questions today, fairly quiet. I always appreciate them, but they're fairly detailed questions. So let's go ahead and jump into them. The first question has to deal with the treating doctor rule and the weight of the medical evidence. In other words, someone asked, does Social Security have to take into consideration that my current and new treating doctor is supporting me as being disabled? Awesome question. Most people don't realize that the Social Security Administration follows a doctrine which we call the treating doctor rule. Now, every federal jurisdiction kind of interprets it a little differently, but basically they all utilize the federal guidelines when utilizing the treating doctor rule. For lack of better words, what the treating doctor rule means is that your treating doctor, their opinion is given considerable weight. The idea is that this is the doctor that is probably going to know your condition the best. The only time you reduce the weight given to a treating doctor is if there's other evidence to the contrary that may diminish it. Let's go ahead and kind of put it like this. If your treating doctor says that you're disabled, first of all, just them saying it by themselves is not enough. If somebody walks in the first day and say, "Oh, well, you're disabled," well, you got to have some type of care supporting that. So if other evidence from other documents supports what that treating doctor said, that actually helps your treating doctor. Let's say you've been with your treating doctor for a few months, because sometimes people ask, they say, "Well, how long do you have to be with your treating doctor for their rule to be given effect?" It's not based on the length of time you've been with that one doctor. What they look at is they look at all of the evidence, they look at that doctor's opinion, and then what they do is they compare that doctor's opinion with all the other evidence. So let's say you have 9 or 10 different doctors that all say you're not disabled, and this one doctor says that you are. Well, your treating doctor may not get as much weight in their opinion because so many other doctors says you're not. Now, I always tell people the longer you're with a doctor and you have more ongoing care, stronger that it may help your case. Because if you've got a couple of docs and you haven't seen them in a while, but then you've got this one doc that's had you for about a year or so, and they have a greater appreciation of your condition, their weight may be given a little bit more than those other doctors. Now, here's one of the things that I always tell people when they're trying to figure out, especially if they've got a doctor who has been very supportive. Make sure that you tell your doctor about other treatment you've received, because most docs want to get your past medical evidence because they want to know what your conditions were previously. More importantly, if you can get your treating doctor to render an opinion about all of your treatment over a time period, that might address any inconsistency that may be out there. In other words, if you've gone to 2 or 3 docs and those 2 or 3 docs all said that you're not that bad, but then the one doctor you go to say is basically saying you are as bad as they think you are, they may get all those other records and say, "I've reviewed those records, and in reviewing my findings, this is where I've come into my decision." And that helps, because what happens when Social Security looks at that treating doctor, they're going to want to know, why are they saying your condition is not, it's bad, and the other ones are saying it's not bad? Did they have access to the other medical records when making that decision? What is it they're relying upon? And what that does is that means that your treating doctor, it helps you because it means your treating doctor has had the chance to go through your documents and hopefully provide a rationale as to why their opinion should be more important than prior opinions. In any event, this is what I tell people. Your treating doctor is typically given a great amount of weight unless other medical evidence in your file demonstrates to the contrary. If other evidence demonstrates a contrary finding, they won't ignore, they typically don't ignore the doctor's records, so your treating doctor, but they won't give it as much weight as if they would have had your doctor's findings been the same as the other ones. So that's the first question. Second question is more of a technical question. Somebody asked, how much will I get in disability once I get disapproved? Once I get approved. And this usually gets people because what happens is every year you get this nice little thing that says, if I'm found disabled, this is what I'll get. Then if you're filing a concurrent application, meaning you're getting SSI and DIB, SSI may be $1 amount, DIB may be another dollar amount, and so sometimes it's confusing. Two things you need to remember. Well, three things. First of all, be patient. Because a lot of times when you get approved, you're so excited, you want to know how much money you're going to get right now, so you're more interested in figuring that out. Be patient. Why do I tell you be patient? Because if you've got two applications going, the SSI has to be calculated first, then the DIB has to be calculated second. Okay, so first one is be patient. Second of all, they have to calculate it. Third, they're going to send it to you in writing. So as opposed to sitting, and this is what I always tell clients all the time whenever they start freaking out, I always say, I don't mean to be rude. I know you want to know how much money you're going to get. Sit down and relax. They're going to send it to you in writing. More importantly, you want to see it in writing because if there is a confusion or dispute, you have something to refer to. I have clients sometimes will ask me, how much am I going to get? And I always tell them, I don't like telling you dollar amounts. Why? Because what happens is you get held to that dollar amount. And it's like, well, you said this. And I'm like, well, the easiest thing is for you to wait because the SSI program and the DIB program, they offset each other. So there's going to have to be some funky calculations going on. When in doubt, because if you contact the local office, they are only going to be focusing on your SSI. They're not going to be focusing on the DIB. The SSI is first and they ship it to the payment center, which is either Baltimore, Birmingham, New York, depending on where you're at. You're not going to have access to that worker who's processing your DIB portion. So that has to be processed. And little tip for the wise, no disrespect, don't waste your time calling the toll-free 1-800 number. The 1-800 number is a gateway to get you to a local office or certain things. The payment centers operate a different number, and Social Security local offices work on a different number. So you call and you speak to someone, and you're sitting here talking to somebody at the toll-free number thinking, okay, they should know what's going on. And then you get mad because they're not giving you the information you need. That's why I tell people, wait. Oh, and just kind of food for thought, a lot of times they give you contact numbers on your statements from Social Security. These are called award notices. So keep all those things in mind, and more importantly, enjoy the fact you've been approved. They know you want your money because you've been waiting for it for a while, and they're going to get it to you. And they're going to tell you how much it is. Just relax, let the system work itself out. All right. Again, I want to thank you for taking the opportunity for joining me here today. I hope this post was productive for you. And if you have any more questions, you know you can always hit me up right here at YouTube. My name is Anthony Reeves. I'm an attorney at law with the Reeves Law Firm. And this is your Q&A Social Security Disability Today.